Thanks for joining us. I'm Luxmy Gopal. We start tonight with more on the winter pressures facing the NHS here in the capital, as figures out today revealed that there were 420,000 visits to A&E departments in London last month. That's up almost a fifth on the previous year. It means that hospitals are having to find new and creative ways to free up beds, increase capacity and get ambulances back on the road. From Northwick Park Hospital in Harrow, our health correspondent Carl Mercer has sent this report. Next tonight, the singer from Blue, Lee Ryan, has been found guilty of the racially aggravated assault of a female cabin crew member while he was drunk on a plane. Ealing Magistrates Court heard that the 39-year-old drank a whole bottle of port before boarding the British Airways flight from Glasgow to London. Well, let's get more on this now from Thomas McGill, who's been following the case. Thomas, what more do you? The Met Police Commissioner, Sir Mark Rowley, says he's worried that officers are relying on food banks because of low pay. Speaking to the BBC, Sir Mark said his officers had seen a real terms pay cut of 14% in a decade and were frustrated. A report suggests some officers have needed food parcels to get by. With more on that, here's our Home Affairs correspondent, Sonia Jessup. Sonia.
Yeah, we've talked a lot, haven't we, about the challenges that the Met Commissioner faces in reforming the force. Well, he's also worried about the pressures his own officers are experiencing trying to make ends meet, he says. Over the last few weeks, we've seen other public sector workers, haven't we, like NHS employees, railway staff taking industrial action. Well, police can't do that. It's illegal for them to strike. But the Commissioner is concerned many are under financial pressure. The Police Federation yesterday warned many officers are quitting the force or preparing to. Its survey showed 1 in 5 officers across England and Wales plan on leaving within the next 2 years over poor morale and pay. And the Commissioner says that's a real worry. Tip part, but it gives a snap. Said they'd gone without meals in the last 12 months because they couldn't afford food. 3/4 said that they have financial concerns, and a fifth described themselves as being in significant debt. And here's a comment from one officer who responded. They say, currently costs of food and petrol are more than I can afford. When I get paid, all of my money goes on paying off the credit card bill for the previous month. Well, these are concerns that the Met Police Federation are very familiar with. £1,900 for all officers as recommended by the police pay body. Along with pay, though, the question of morale in a force facing huge changes. The Commissioner has a challenge of making all these reforms, but he needs his officers on board with them too. Luxmy.
Sonia, thank you. Time now for a brief look at some of the day's other news for you. A coroner has said he'll feel London is being treated as a villain, damaging the economic well-being of the rest of the country. That's what the Lord Mayor of the City of London is going to be saying in a speech tonight. Nicholas Lyons says it's one of the most unequal places in the UK and needs levelling up as much as anywhere else. Well, our political editor Tim Donovan is in the city for us tonight, the UK premiere. Before we head to Asad Ahmed, who's spoken to one of its stars, Margot Robbie, let's have a quick look at the trailer.
If you could go anywhere in the whole world, where would you go?
I always wanted to be part of something bigger.
Yes!
Let's go! Something that lasts, that means something.
It's been amazing. Life just gets better and better, and every time I feel like I've reached some sort of creative peak, a project like Babylon comes along and I'm reinvigorated all over again. So I mean this movie was incredible to make, incredibly difficult but incredibly satisfying to make, and I think some of my best work.
And I think some people are going to remember the party scenes which are in this film. What were they like to film? And is it a snapshot of what Hollywood life is actually really like?
Maybe back then. It's definitely a snapshot of what Hollywood life was like back then, which is to say it was pretty crazy back then. But the party scenes were fantastic to shoot. We have a very enthusiastic cast, crew, and all the background artists, everyone really kind of committed. It felt like being at a party for 2 weeks.
Now, the British Film Academy in London.
I suppose, yeah.
Well, listen, last time we met 5 years ago from the red carpet for I, Tonya, I asked you whether you still had an Oyster card from your days in London. You said you did.
Yeah.
Do you still have it?
Yeah, of course. I always get the tube.
Do you?
Yeah.
Have you been on the Elizabeth line?
No, I haven't, but I hear it's lovely.
You must
Very
do it. Not today, they're on strike. Any other day, you must do it.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I actually have 2 Oyster cards in my wallet right now. Yeah.
That's terrific. Margot Robbie, enjoy tonight. Thank you for speaking to us on BBC London.
Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Asad Ahmed giving Margot Robbie some transport advice there. Now, for more than 2 decades, Mel C has performed around the world in front of millions of fans, but her latest project means she'll be seen in a very different light. The Spice Girl, who turns 49 today, is preparing to make her contemporary dance debut at an intimate show at London's Sadler's Wells Theatre. Sophie Van Bruggen has been to meet